Good morning, dear students. Let us start today's class with a small prayer. Lord Jesus, we surrender all healthcare professionals into your heart. Bless them with your love and care to provide healing hands to whomever we may meet. Lord, bless those who are afflicted with corona and those who are suffering due to war. Lord, make us as an instrument of your peace, love, and healing. Amen. Ave Maria. In the last class, we studied about nursing process. So, we are moving into the first step of nursing process, that is assessment. So, what is assessment? Assessment is a systematic, continuous collection and validation along with communication and documentation of clients' data as compared to what is a standard or no. So, assessment. We are assessing for to identify the need of a client, health problems of a client, and again it is related with the experience of a staff and what practice she is doing. We are assessing physical, mental, spiritual, social, cultural aspect of an individual, or it may be a community, or it may be a family. So, again, assessment is very important because assessment does not complete in the first stage itself. It continues throughout every step of nursing process. So even though it is the first step, yes, it is present in every step. So assessment is a systematic and continuous collection, validation and communications of clients' data compared to a standard norm. Okay, let us see the definition. American Nurses Association defines assessment is a systematic, dynamic process in which the nurse, through the interaction with the patient and significant others, and even with healthcare providers, collects and analyzes data about the patient. So, what is the, according to ANA, assessment is a systematic, dynamic process in which nurse, through her interaction, okay, she is interacting with patient and patient relatives and even the healthcare providers in order to collect and analyze the data about the patient. So, I have given you three definitions, anyone you can study. Assessment is a systematic and continuous collection, organization, validation, and documentation of data. Here it is mainly concentrating only on the methods or the steps of assessment. Assessment is a systematic and continuous collection, organization, validation, and documentation of data. Let us see the third definition. Assessment is the deliberate, purposeful, and systematic collection of data to determine a client's current and past health status. Okay, here they are concentrating on the present and even the past, and functional status to determine the client's present and past copy pattern. Not only the health status, we need to identify how effectively the patient copies with that. So, assessment is a deliberate and systematic collection of data, determines a client's current and past health status and functional status, and determine the client's present and past coping pattern. Functional status. Okay, the one patient who is paralyzed may be completely depending on others. Sometimes the people who are paralyzed, we have seen that they go through various self development activities, and they may stand in their own leg. So, functionally, what is the status? According to health, what is the status? And what is the copying mechanism? Okay, everything is explained in the assessment. Let us see the purposes of assessment. One, it organizes a database. A data is forming base, okay, base through which we can plan our care. Okay, database is formed regarding physical, psychosocial, emotional health status of the client. So it gives a database. Second, assessment identifies health promoting behavior and potential health problems. Now, what are the health promoting behavior? Whether he is an alcoholic or non-alcoholic, whether he is a drug addict or a non-drug addict, whether he is a person who is on continuous exercise or he is not, and potential health problems. For according to his status, which all areas he or she is potential to develop. It ascertains the client's functional behavior, how much he is functionally able to do every activity in its cognitive level, intellectual level, in its functional level, in its family level, in its social aspect, okay, to ascertain client's functional behavior. It forms a therapeutic interpersonal relationship. Yes, for in order to to start a nursing process, when we start with assessment, we start relating with patient. Only then we can collect data. In case if the patient is sick or severely sick or unconscious, we maintain contact with the family members. So it forms a therapeutic interpersonal relationship. Okay, what is the symbol interpersonal relationship and therapeutic interpersonal relationship? Therapeutic interpersonal relationship begins with admission and it temporarily completes with the discharge of the patient. Okay. Discusses the health goals with the client. Yes. Now, what is the problem which we are identifying? Okay, now how can you come out of it? Or how can you cope up with that? Discuss the health goals with the client because he is the ultimate responsible for his health. Patient is the ultimate responsible person. So let him know what is the goal, what we are setting for him. It identifies the client's strength. Yes, what is his strength and weakness? We will be able to identify through the assessment. It maintains the normal functioning of daily living. Okay, when we assess, we will assess what all things he is capable of doing, whether he need any assessment. Okay, so what he is doing and we are providing. So the needs of the daily living can be met. It frame nursing diagnosis. Only based upon this assessment, we can create a diagnosis. Based upon that, the plan is implemented. So assessment will act as a frame for formulation of nursing diagnosis. So it organizes database regarding physical, psychosocial, and emotional health. It assessment identifies health promoting behavior. It ascertains the client's functional behavior. It forms a therapeutic interpersonal relationship. Discuss the client goal with the health goals with the client. Discuss the identifies the patient's strength and maintains normal functions of daily living, and it frame nursing diagnosis. Now let us see what are the types of assessment. There are four types of assessment that we do commonly. Initial comprehensive assessment, problem focused assessment, emergency assessment, and time lapsed assessment or ongoing assessment. Now, what is initial comprehensive assessment? It is also known as admission assessment. So from the name itself, it is clear that it is a comprehensive assessment that we are doing as an initial assessment or we are doing at the time of admission. Clear? When the client enters into our healthcare delivery system. Yes, purpose is to evaluate the client's health status and what is the functional health of the patient, and what is his problem, okay, which provide problem to him. So here we try to get an in-depth data regarding client status, and depending upon this first assessment, even our subsequent assessment comes. So the initial comprehensive assessment is important. So it includes assessment of physical health. Yes, we identify what is the health status, physical health status. Along with this, what is his intellectual ability, psychosocially whether he is stable, emotional, cultural, and even the spiritual health we should assess. And what is the perception about his health by himself, what he think about his health. Okay, it is important in case of cooperation, and presence of risk factors and coping abilities, and what are the risk factors present in the family, maybe in the community. Okay, so for these four areas must be assessed: physical health, intellectual, psychosocial, emotional, cultural, and spiritual health, perception of health, and the presence of risk factors and coping ability. These much must be assessed in the initial comprehensive assessment. Second is the problem focused assessment. So from the name itself, we can see, yes, it is a problem focused. Clear? So it is based upon the first one, whatever. Okay, so a problem. The nurse determine whether this particular problem which we identified in initial assessment, whether it is present, how the the client is responding to it. So problem focused assessment is, okay, again it is critically, even it can be done even in case of a critically ill. Okay, so and determine, it is done to determine the status of a specific problem. Example, a urination problem patient exists. So how we will assess further? We maintain a urine output chart so that we can identify whether it is worsening or whether it is improving, whether we need to do anything. Okay, so this is the, so urination is a problem, so maintaining urine output hourly. So that is a problem focused assessment. Next is emergency assessment. Yes, it is done only in a life threatening condition. That means airway breathing status we are assessing. Okay, after a cardiac arrest. Emergency assessment. Problem focused assessment also occurs in critical condition and in other condition, and only in an emergency situation what aspect we must look into. Here the patient may not be able to give you any picture, you should assess for yourself. Yes, assessing regarding the airway, assessing clearing the airway, assessing what is the breathing status, assessing whether the circulation is getting affected, whatever the BP of the patient. Okay, so like emergency assessment is done during physiologic and psychologic crisis, physiologic and psychologic crisis to identify life-threatening problems. In psychologically, okay, the changes in self-concept, okay, it may lead to suicidal thoughts, and the problems in the roles and relationship, the social conflicts may lead to violent act. All these also are act as a emergency. So emergency assessment is important. The last one is time lapsed assessment or ongoing assessment. It is a systematic monitoring of a problem, or it afterwards initial assessment we are continuously assessing the functional health. Okay, even though we are assessing the admission, every day we will check the vital signs. Okay, so here ongoing assessment, the nurse functions. Okay, here not only that is coming in the hospital, it is only even afterwards. Okay, the patient is coming back to OPD and we are checking what is the ongoing, continuously we are assessing, and we are doing a developmental task. Okay, if the patient is having any problem, BP, we are asking him to come for regular checkup and to make sure that the BP is monitored. So such a assessment is known as time lapsed or ongoing assessment. So we can see that there are four types of assessment: initial comprehensive assessment, problem focused assessment, emergency assessment, and the time lapsed assessment or ongoing assessment. So next we'll move on to the steps of assessment or component of assessment, which is very important. It alone can be asked as a YV or even for the essay. Okay, so what is the steps? Okay, we can see that there are data collection, validation of data, organization of data, analysis of the data, and recording and documentation of data. So there are 5 steps: collection, validation, organization, analysis, and recording. Analyzing and recording. In certain books says only 4, but commonly it has 5. Okay. So data collection, validation, organization, analyzing and or analysis, and the recording or the documentation of data. We will see each one in detail. Collection of data or data collection is the process of gathering or collecting information about the client's health status. So it includes initial assessment and all the assessment whatever we are doing and collect the necessary fact from that. So it should include strength and weakness of the patient, response of the patients, knowledge related to health status, okay, their values and beliefs, lifestyle of the patient, health related goal, and supporting system of a client. Okay, so that is regarding the data collection. So the area must include our strength and weakness, response, knowledge related to health status, belief and values of client, lifestyle, what is his health related goals, and what supporting system the client has. Okay, so all these, whenever we consider, the nurse should consider the whole person psychologically, physically, and must consider and must collect the data accordingly. Types of data. So to collect, what are kind of data we must collect? The first classification is subjective data and objective data. As you know, subjective data is the symptoms or covered data which is apparent only to the person affected, and only he describes about the subjective data. Example, pain, weakness, itching, nausea, etc. Along with that, client sensation, feelings, values, attitudes, and perception of personal health status and life situation. All these comes as a subjective data. If the information is given by the family members and even the significant others and even the healthcare professionals, if they are giving any opinion, it also will come under the subjective data. Now, what is objective data? What we can observe. Okay, it is a sign or overt data which is detectable by an observer, or it can be tested by against an acceptable standard or accepted standard like BP. So we are checking it with, we have the normal standard, what is normal value. So we are assessing whether it is around normal value. This data which can be seen, which can be heard, which can be felt or smelt, or which can be observed with a physical examination. Okay, example is pulse rate, discoloration of the skin, BP. Okay, so all the diagnostic tests also can be objective data. So according to the nature of the data, we can divide it into subjective or objective. Then according to the time, again we can divide it into historical and current data. Historical data means which is occurred in the past, and the current data means which is present at the time of admission. So presently they have pain, vomiting. Yes, it comes under the current data. And historically he had an illness or he had a previous hospitalization due to various sickness. It comes under the historical data. So the data can be subjective and objective according to the nature. According to the time, it can be historical and current data. Let us see what is the source of data. Data can be collected from two sources. One is primary and that is secondary. Who is a primary source? Yes, client is a primary source. He can provide information about his illness, present and the past illness, surgeries, signs, symptoms, lifestyle. All these can be considered as the primary data. Now, what is secondary data? Sources other than the client, everything is secondary data. Okay, now we may use, in case of an unconscious patient, we may use family members. Clear? So, what are the common secondary sources? Clients, family members, friends, and even the whoever is available, immediate friends available in the hospital. Medical records, okay, his records if it is available, or even the referring, the records they are transferring, healthcare professionals. Yes, the information can be given by the healthcare professionals from one system to the another system. Diagnostic test and laboratory findings. Literature, nursing literature. Now, when leukemia comes or when cardiac arrest comes, what may be the another chance, the sign and symptom the patient can have? Okay, so if the nurse have knowledge, her literature may tell, yes, these symptoms may be there. One of my patient who got thrombolized and we were checking for bleeding because he was undergone a surgery before. Yes, there was such slight oozing from the site of wound surgery, and suddenly we referred him to the another hospital to save his life. So after giving thrombolization, there is chance of bleeding. So this knowledge is received from the literature. So nursing literature also act as a secondary source. Then experience of a nurse. Yes, experienced nurse will know more, and documentation by other healthcare team members. So the secondary sources are clients, family members, friends, medical records, healthcare professional, diagnostic test and laboratory findings, nursing literature, nurses experience, and documentation by other healthcare team members. What are the different methods that we are adopting? Yes, interview, observation, physical examination, and diagnostic test are the common methods for collecting the data. In the slide you may not get much details, so you can concentrate on the note. So what is interview? Interview is a pattern of communication initiated for a specific purpose and focused on a specific content area. Yes, we need to gather the data of a patient regarding his sickness. So we prepare an interview only to purpose his physical health, psychological health. For what? To provide him the care. Okay, specific purpose on a content specific area. Now, what is the objective of the nursing interview? To establish a therapeutic relationship with client. With interview, we start and establish a therapeutic relationship. And when we speak to the client feels like, yes, we care him. So to provide a nurse sense of caring for the client as an individual. Yes, I understand you. Then introduce the client to the facility in a manner that is not threatening. Okay, so tell him these are the facility which is available. Okay, don't tell that you will die within 5 minutes, so you must go through the investigations or any therapeutics. No, explain the facilities in a non-threatening. Okay, should not be psychologically or physically affected through our explanation. Gain insight about the client concern. Okay, first you must understand what is his concern. If he is willing to take it up or he doesn't want it, what is his concern regarding it? Determine the client's expectation of healthcare providers and healthcare delivery system. If whether he is what expectation he has, what he is going to get from here, whether it is a real one or it is an unreality. Okay, and reality, if it is there, he may not be satisfied with any of the care which we provide. So determine what is the client's expectation. Obtain cues about the parts of data collection phase that require in-depth investigation. Okay, sometimes we may go for a certain investigation, maybe blood I may be collecting later, so that we can study regarding the various aspects. So must be certain, okay, which all areas. Now he may be telling like, okay, once the scanning is done, then we may ask why. He may say that, okay, there is one small growth. We will ask what is the condition, and he may say that no, I don't know. That time it was not a problem. Further, I have not gone for the follow up. So obtain the cues about the uh, data collection phase, parts of data collection. So where we need to have in-depth investigation. So objective of nursing interview is establish a therapeutic relationship with client, establish the nurse's sense of caring for the client as an individual, establish introduce the client regarding the facility, and give insight about the client's gain insight about the client's concern, determine the client's expectation regarding the healthcare facility, and get cues, okay, where we need to have in-depth investigation. Now there are mainly two approaches in interview. Already you have learning it in research and even in the education, that is directive and non-directive. In directive it is highly concerned and structured, and we may give only opportunity to limited opportunity to uh, give back the information. That means we will structure and we will go and ask the questions. Non-directive is happening in case of a rapid building. Here we give less control. That means the client can control the purpose and they can speak on various aspects. So here we have more opportunity to ask many questions. Non-directive. Now, what are the phase of an interview? Interview has an orientation phase, working phase, and a termination phase. Orientation phase, okay, just before we must prepare ourselves and we should identify what type of data must be obtained and what method is appropriate and how are you going to conduct the interview. So here the nurse opens the interview by explaining, yes, now let us talk regarding this aspect, purpose of interview. And also she tells, okay, I may be asking the questions like regarding this aspect and how you must answer according to your knowledge. You must cooperate to your level best, how it is going to help, okay, the information which is giving, how it is going to help in his treatment modalities, that must be explained. Next is the working phase, the second phase. Here truly the nurse asks questions in order to get data, and depending upon that we must prepare a care plan. So this data which we are collecting, okay, so that will act as a base. So we must use open-ended questions, supporting back channeling, problem seeking interview, and even closed-ended questions. We can ask all these four types of questions. Termination phase, yes, here we are concluding, clear, and we may give a cue that, okay, if it is required I may come again to a certain aspect. And these are the three phases: orientation phase, working phase, and termination phase. Now when we set an interview, which whole area we should take care, okay, it may influence what time. Okay, if we are taking interview just before food, he may be tired, he may be hungry, may not give much information. So the time, place, if it is a noisy place, we may not get full data. Sitting, if you are sitting too far, okay, arrangement, distance, and language, okay, these are the factors which can influence the interview. So that is regarding the interview. Now we will move on to the second method, that is observation. Okay, observation, we are observing through the senses, through the sight, smell, hearing, and touch. Clear? So here observer is noticing the data and selecting and organizing and interpreting the data. So now we see that the child is crying. Now when the child is crying, he pulls his thigh towards the abdomen. That means he is trying to split his abdomen. That means the cause of pain is from abdomen. So we have selected, okay, we have noticed the cry. We have selected this one behavior of the child, and we must concentrate on identifying, okay, it may be abdominal pain, maybe it may be a colicky pain, okay, interpreting the data. The nurse should observe the following: the clinical sign of client distress, maybe a pallor, labored breathing, presence of functional equipment, okay, whether we have adequate oxygen, a cardiac monitoring, whether it is working, and immediate environment, the people in the room, and how much environment, ventilation, all these things must be observed thoroughly. So observation must be done regarding the clinical signs, threats to client safety. Yes, that is important. Whether the side rail is lowered, what about his BP, whether he is prone for falling, okay, whether he is in a high risk patient for the fall, presence and functioning of equipment, and immediate environment. The third is physical examination. Physical examination. The data can be obtained by physical examination of the client. So we are doing physical examination to identify the client response, to collect baseline data, to compare the efficiency of medical and nursing intervention. Now, as you know, what method we are using: inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation, olfaction, all these methods we will be using it. Okay, then next is the it includes, okay, along with that we must collect the nursing history, the biographic data, chief complaints, present illness, past health history, family history, review of system, lifestyle, social data, psychological data, and patterns of healthcare. All these things we must collect. Afterwards, we must go for a head to foot assessment. Systematic data collection must be done, and it must be either cephalocaudal approach, head to toe, okay, head to foot, body system, okay, if any system is affected, systemic assessment, and review of system approach, examine only a particular area affected. So that is the third one, physical examination. Okay, next is the fourth one, is the diagnostic and the laboratory data. So here we are using the test of various investigation, okay, laboratory data, then maybe x-ray, MRI, okay, so which all these has got its own norm for according to different age group and sex. So nurse identifies the variation from the normalcy and interprets the findings according to the disease process and the treatment. So in addition to the laboratory data, clear, and it also helps to identify the success or failure of nursing or medical intervention. Okay, this for this also the data can be utilized. So we are giving, if we are giving continuously the treatment for diabetics, by assessing the sugar we will be able to identify whether sugar has come down or if it is still high. So we are assessing, it is an assessment too. So that is regarding the method of data collection. So we have learned 4 types of data collection, that is interview, observation, physical examination, and diagnostic and laboratory data. Okay, that is lab, it is absent, you need not write it. Laboratory data. The second step is validation of data. Now collection of data is over. After collected data, we must validate. So what is validation? Validation is the process of confirming or verifying that the subjective and objective data collected are reliable, accurate, and complete. It is otherwise known as double checking or verifying the data. Make sure that it is accurate and complete. It prevents misinterpretation, misunderstanding, and incorrect conclusion. Now, what is the purpose of data validation? It ensures that the data collected is complete. It gives complete picture. Ensure that objective and subjective data are agreeing. The patient says that I have abdominal pain, and the x-ray shows and even the scanning says that there is inflammation in the appendix. So objective and the subjective data agree each other. Obtain additional data that may have to be overlooked. He is a diabetic patient. So what is his sugar level? Avoid jumping into conclusion. So it prevents unwanted conclusions and it helps in differentiate cues and interferences. Okay, whether any problem associated with or it may be in another disease condition. Okay, it gives another data. So purpose of validation is to ensure that the data collection is complete, ensure that objective and subjective data agree, obtain conditional data that may have to overlooked, avoid jumping into conclusion, and differentiate cues and inferences. Now, what is a step of validation? Decide about the requirement of data validation, whether we need to do the data validation and what method of validation we must use and identify which data is missing. So deciding about the requirement of data and identify what method must be utilized and identify the area where the data is missing. Now in which condition we should do the data validation? Is there is any discrepancies or the gap between the subjective and objective data? Or if there is a gap between what client says at one time and then another time. Okay, or even example, the client beginning says that okay, I have not undergone any surgery, and afterwards he says that see, I don't have appendix, it is already removed. So it says that there is a gap between okay the what client says one time and another time, and findings those are very abnormal or inconsistent with other findings. I remember about my friend's brother whose blood report was something really different than his normal findings. Actually, that was the first data whether he showed that he had leukemia. Since he was not having any main features, they just neglected it. It landed up in the death of the person after 2 years. So, any abnormal or inconsistent findings that we are getting in investigation or in observation or in history, that must be where it is a condition we need to have the data validation. Okay, now the third one is organization of data. Now we have a data which is complete or which is assured its reliability, and it must be written or computerized in a very organized manner so that is helping for the others to identify, even if other healthcare professionals can come and look and understand what it is. Clear? So we should have a written format to organize the data what we have, and there are even certain agencies who provide. One is hierarchy need according to the Maslow. Okay, first one is the physical, psychological. Okay, according to the Maslow's hierarchy we can arrange it. Then according to the body system model, collection of data according to the tissue organ. Okay, so now regarding system wise, system. Clear? So it is otherwise known as medical model. Again, one is there Gordon. He developed a functional health pattern. Okay, he provided 11 functional health pattern. Okay, according to this pattern we can organize. What is the health perception pattern, nutritional pattern, elimination pattern, activity pattern, cognitive pattern, sleep pattern, self-concept pattern, relationship pattern, reproductive pattern, copying pattern, and value and belief pattern. So this is Gordon's functional health pattern. It is given in 1998. In otherwise, Oram has developed a self-care theory. So self-care activities. Okay, so what is the ability of the patient to meet the self-care? So according to the theory of self-care also we can arrange the data. So the data can be organized by hierarchy of needs, body system models, functional health patterns, and the theory of self-care. Last is analyzing the data. Okay, analyzing the data depending upon, okay, analyze the data with the standard. Now my BP is maybe 150 by 90. Since it is a BP of a 30-year-old man or a woman, okay, it may be very significant, but 130 by 90, if it is an or 90, if it is a BP of a 90-year-old person, 90, it may not be significant. So the data must be analyzed for its significance according to the standards, according to the norm. Clear? According to the normative signs and weight and height. Okay, for a person who has got 150 or 160 centimeter, up to 60 weight is normal. Okay, so weight and height. Okay, all these are the certain patterns to identify. We can do the analysis of the data. Okay, next is the documentation of data. Documentation, recording of data, whatever we have accumulated, we have organized and make sure that it is recorded in the nurses records. Okay, whatever the according to the each institutional policy, we should record both objective and the subjective data. And what is the purpose of it? It helps in communicating the information to another members of the healthcare team. Okay, even those who are coming in the night, they know what is the condition of the patient, to prevent misunderstanding and misconclusion. Okay, it avoids wrong or even the misunderstanding. It provides a mechanic for evaluation of patient care. Okay, it acts as a mode or even it acts as a base to understand or to evaluate the care. It provides legal record of the care provided. Yes, it is a our document has got legal value, so it is a legal record to act as a safeguard for the healthcare professionals. Yes, we have done our level best. In spite of that, patient has died. Even if they go to court, if we have written everything in our records, so one advice which I want to give is only record whatever you have done and never give recording to another person. Okay, next is to identify the research topic for the nursing practice. Yes, in which all area we need to develop our knowledge. Okay, and to facilitate delivery and quality client guidelines for document. To facilitate delivery of quality client guidelines. So what kind of guidelines we must provide, the documentation we must provide. Okay, so these are the purpose: to communicate information to the other members of the healthcare team, to prevent misunderstanding and misconclusion, to provide a mechanic for the evaluation of the client care, to provide a legal record, to act as a safeguard, to identify the research topic, and to provide a quality guidelines. Clear? Now, I'm not going in detail regarding the records and reports because already you have learned it. And since it is a review topic, I have gone bit fast and I have not given in every aspect, I have not given the examples. If you need any more clarification, please contact me. Hope you have learned it before, so that is why I have gone bit fast. But for the examination point of view, it is important. Assessment alone can be asked for a long essay, so study well. So nursing process and assessment enables the nurse to understand the problem in detail, okay, and the extent of it, and to trace the relationship between the problems. Yes, hope you understood. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.